happy Thursday. We're gonna get into some stretches this week using a band. If you don't have a thicker resistance band, you could use a rope, anything kind of this length. You can try a longer belt. You can even use a jump rope if you link them up and just shorten them. This one's a little bit thin, but you could use any sort of object like this. So just to start out, we're gonna do a couple warm-up movements and then we'll get into our stretches. Exercises we're gonna do, the first one's gonna be downward dog to overhead push-up. We're gonna do 5 of those. Then we're gonna do 5 hip circles forward and backwards. And then we're gonna do 5 single leg glute raises. And we're gonna do 2 rounds of that. So when you guys do your downward dog, remember, lift with your hips, tighten your stomach to really engage that full movement up instead of just kind of lifting your hips up in the air. Try to get everything involved on these movements, even pushing the floor away from you. Activate your shoulders and chest. So push-up position, pushing back here. And then remember, always come back to a really stable push-up position. Control all the movement. One more. And rest. All right, we're gonna do our hip circles. So I'm in my quadruped position. I'm gonna go 5 forward and I'm drawing a circle with my knee. So I'm trying to get my knee up as high and forward as I can. And then I'm gonna take it backwards. Sweet, switching sides, gonna go forward. And backwards. All right, now we're gonna flip over and do our glute bridges. 5 single leg each side. Remember, you're driving through your heels just to achieve lifting your hips up versus creating an arch in your back. Nice job. All right, that was round 1. We're gonna do our second warm-up round and do a couple more exercises before we get into our band stretches. So we're back in our downward dog position, starting from a push-up. All right, hip circles. Hopefully feeling better than the first round. See if you can draw a bigger circle this time. And switch. All right, doing our last round of glute bridges. Nice. So we're just gonna do some T-spine rotations here. We're gonna do 5 each side. So I'm getting back in that quadruped position. I'm gonna put one hand on my head, tucking my elbow underneath the opposite arm, and then from there, I'm just gonna lift with my elbow. So I want my hips to stay down, and I'm just reaching up as much as I can and bringing it back down. You can exhale as you look up. Two more. And then stay planted on that stationary arm. 5. Sweet. Switch sides. Actually, I'm not going to switch here. So I'm looking. And reach. One side might be a little bit easier than the other, depending on where you're tight. Sweet. Those are our T-spine rotations. So getting into the banded stretches, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay on my back, and we're gonna spend quite a lot of time in this position. But starting out, I'm just gonna scoot back a little bit. I'm gonna put the strap or whatever I have around the ball of my foot. So you don't want it directly in the middle, you want it on your instep. So now I'm just gonna lay back. So my leg is straight up in the air. I'm gonna try to fit into the screen here. Doing the worm. Okay, so goals here is I wanna be able to, actually, all right, so moving into our banded stretches, grab your strap or whatever you have, and you're gonna start laying on your back. You wanna place the strap around the ball of your foot, so not in the middle, around your instep. That's where you wanna go. So, laying on your back, you wanna keep, if I've got the band in my left foot, I want the bottom of my foot facing up towards the ceiling. And my opposite toe, my goal is to keep that pointed towards the ceiling as well. So I'm keeping my hips in check. So what I want to do here is I'm going to start out with a mild stretch. And we're just going to hold here, ideally 30 seconds. This might be a little sped up. And kind of settle into your breathing here. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna push the band away. So I'm still keeping tension, but I'm fighting it. So now I'm contracting my muscles while also pulling on them. And we're gonna hold here for about 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Now I'm gonna try to pull myself into even deeper of a stretch. And you can go for about 20 seconds here. And relax. Hopefully fitting in the screen. Here we are. So my foot is flat facing the ceiling. My opposite toe is pointed up towards the ceiling. So if you can see here, I've got my toe pointed up. So now we're just gonna hang out again for 20. And if you feel like the stretch is getting looser, you can add a little bit more tension. So you don't necessarily have to push away from it at this time, but you can challenge yourself a little bit more. As you start doing more of the stretches, as you loosen up, you can always gradually ask for a little bit more out of these stretches. So now what I'm gonna do is contract for 10. So I'm gonna push that band away while also increasing my resistance. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax. Now I'm gonna pull even more. Definitely wouldn't have been able to get this far straight out of the gate. We're just gonna hold here for a little bit longer. Gotta keep my toe in check. All right, so now you're gonna do the same thing on this side. If you want, you can fast forward through or hit pause and do it at your own pace. But ideally, you wanna start out in a mild stretch for about 20 to 30 seconds here. You can ask yourself for a little bit more as you loosen up. And then what you're gonna have to do for the 20 to 30, you're gonna contract for 10, relax and sink into a deeper stretch for 20. And you can repeat that twice. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. So feel free to do what you want with the video. So I'm just about to contract. So 3, 2, 1, push away. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna pull a little bit more. I'm going to contract, so I'm pushing away for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. I'm going to adjust my band really quick. I'm just going to finish up that stretch. And time. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is some cross body stretches. So we're gonna get back in that same position where the strap is around your instep, and you're just gonna lay down on your back. So since we already started with this stretch, I'm just gonna hold here for about 10 seconds. So now we're gonna, if we have the strap in our left foot, I'm gonna transfer the band or the strap into my left hand. Keeping my toe pointed back towards my head, I'm gonna slowly just guide my leg out to the side. And we're gonna hold here. So we're still pulling on the band, and we're just letting gravity do its job. So you're gonna feel a little bit more of a stretch on the inside of your leg now, still feeling your hamstring. Still keeping that strap tight, keeping tension, pulling that toe back towards your face. And don't forget to breathe. Remember, opposite toe, goal is to try to keep that still pointed up towards the ceiling. Take a couple deep breaths here, and then you're slowly gonna lift that leg all the way back up, and then you're just gonna keep going, transferring that strap into your right hand, keeping that right toe pointed up, and you're gonna let your left leg fall. I can't get very far, but that's okay. Remember to breathe on this one. Now we're stretching all the way from our glute down the side of our leg. Couple deep breaths. We're gonna bring it back up. We're gonna go one more time out to the left. See if you can get a little bit further than the first time while still keeping tension in that strap. Now slowly bring it back up. We're going to go out to the side. Now here for about 10 more seconds. And bring it back up. Sweet. So again, switching sides, you now want to place the strap around the infoot or instep of your right leg, rolling back down. Kind of get everything in check. You've got a mild to moderate stretch now going on. I've got my left toe pointed towards the ceiling. My right foot is facing the ceiling or the bottom of my shoe. Now I'm going to transfer that strap to my right hand, and I'm just going to let my leg fall out to the side, still keeping that tension. Couple deep breaths here. We're going to bring it back up. Now I'm slowly transferring that band or strap into my left hand and pulling my leg across. Ooh, not getting very far on this side. A little tight. Just going to bring it back. I'm going to readjust really quick. There we go. Couple deep breaths. Slowly bring it back up. I didn't have very far to travel. And then we're going to go back out to the right side again. About 5 more seconds. See if you're getting a little bit further than the first time. Slowly start to bring it back up. And then we're just going to go straight across again. Hopefully I can get a little bit further on this stretch. I'll take what I can get. That's fine. And then slowly bring it back up. And rest. So the last exercise we're going to do in this position is going to be our straight leg lowering. So you're going to put the strap back on your left foot. I'm going to start with both feet facing the ceiling. I'm going to keep my left band strap tight, and I'm going to slowly bring my right leg down, trying to keep my legs straight and keeping my back in contact with the mat. A good starting point for this exercise, if you feel like you're starting to get a lift while you're bringing your leg down, is you can put a pillow or a box somewhere a little bit higher up for your heel to land, so you have a better starting point. And then slowly, to make progress, you can take things away so that you're bringing your heel to the floor. So I'm pushing this foot away as I bring my heel to the ground and lifting it back up. This exercise is great for your hip flexors and your hips. I'm just gonna get a couple more. And rest. All right, so I'm switching sides, so now my right foot is in the strap. Both bottoms of my feet are facing the ceiling. And now I'm just gonna drive that left heel down towards the floor and back up. So the goal here, don't let the leg in the strap drift away from you. Avoid the knee starting to bend, so keeping it straight. And then you're really pushing your foot away as you drive your heel down towards the floor. Got about 3 more here. Sweet, and rest. All right, so the next exercise we're gonna do, we're basically just gonna flip over. So now my stomach's on the ground. I'm gonna put the strap around the top of my left foot. And you don't have to hold as close this time. So I'm just gonna wrap around, kind of getting in the right position. It might take you a second here. Just making sure you've got your strap still around just the top of the ball of your foot. And now I'm gonna hold my strap out here and I'm gonna pull on it. So I can anchor my elbow down to the ground. If you've got a band, there's gonna be a little bit of shaking if you're tight. And you're just gonna hold some resistance here. So the choices you have for this one is the same stretch we did in the beginning, where you can hold to get a mild stretch here, keeping your knee off the ground. If you wanna start with your knee on the ground, that's fine. This is where you're gonna get more stretch. You can hold for 20, add resistance for about 10, and then relax for 20, trying to get a little bit more of a pull. So we can go ahead and do that one. I'm gonna do a 20, 10, 20 stretch, and then I'm gonna switch sides. So I'm gonna start here. Got a mild stretch going on. I'm gonna rest my head on the ground, just because usually this is where you would wanna be. I'm just talking, so I'm gonna put my head here. So for about 10 seconds now, I'm gonna push away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax. Get a little bit more of a pull in that band. As you breathe, kind of let the stretch do its job. Just relax. And rest. All right, we're switching sides. So when you put the band on your foot, you can kind of get an underhand reach. So you're not holding the band like this. You want to physically get under it. That way, you're in the right position. So I'm back on the floor, my knee is up. I'm gonna adjust my band a little bit because it's too low. So I'm here, and I'm just gonna relax for about 20 seconds. Another thing to keep in mind is keeping your hips planted on the floor. You definitely want to feel contact. If I'm stretching the right, I should feel my right hip on the floor. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and push away for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can get a little bit more of a stretch here. And relax. All right. Now we're gonna take it to our shoulders. So using your strap, you're just gonna hold a little bit wider than shoulder width. You wanna keep this strap tight. So now we're just gonna lift up and forward. I'm gonna do about 5 reps here. 3, 4, and when you do these, just think of a turtle popping out of its shell. So you want to finish with your biceps out by your ears, kind of popping your head forward, keeping those arms straight, and relax. Now, I'm going to lift with my left hand, and then finish by bringing my right hand overhead and down. Lifting with left, bringing the right up and down. So we're making a circle with the band around our head. Lifting with the left, lifting with the right, and down. Get about 2 more. And the opposite. So now we're lifting with our right. As we go down with the right, our left's lifting, and then bringing it down. And then always remember, you want to keep that strap tight. And by doing that, we're engaging our lats, so the muscles down the side of our rib cages, relaxing our shoulders, so keeping them away from our ears, and relax. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna get back onto our stomach, keeping the straps in that same width, so a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. I'm gonna lay it down. I'm gonna put my face on the ground, so you can either use a towel or a pillow here if you don't wanna just put your face flat down on the surface. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach out in front of me and then bring my elbows back. So treat this strap like a laser or a wire that you don't want to touch, barbed wire, sorry. So just think about, we're still keeping that strap tight, and as we're pulling it, we're actively driving down with our elbows, keeping the strap tight and avoiding touching our head. So I'm here. All right. So those were some exercises or stretches with straps that I highly recommend trying to fit throughout your week. Thanks for watching. Bye.